Hello, good morning and welcome. This is the Tracker on Citi TV. My name is Fentio Tahiru Fentio. Coming up today, we've got a very special guest. He's got special performances and a special name. But we'll introduce him only shortly after this break. Welcome back. This is the Tracker on Citi TV. I'm Fentio Tahiru Fentio. My special guest today is a man that's traversed the world from Africa to Europe to Asia. He's got special performances in his name, and not often do you hear about a man that's only come to the limelight, really, because of a hat-trick against Barcelona. I'm talking about none other than Emmanuel Boateng. Ima, welcome to the show, bro.
Oh.
How are you?
Good, man.
Been told you just came back from China, is that correct?
Yeah, I came back 3 months ago.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. How's it been like down there? Because we understand that there's a lot of, the coronavirus situation in China. It's all. How have you been keeping safe? How's that whole situation down there?
I think now it's kind of difficult because, when the COVID started, everything went down. Even football in China went down. Yeah. The clubs not paying salaries and stuff. So,
wow.
All the foreigners in China need to also take a plan. And as I'm here now, I think last week I cancelled my contract with my Chinese team, and I'm looking forward to maybe going back to Europe, I think.
Yeah. That is big news you're giving us here, that you've cancelled your contract with Dalian Lifan. Let me just stay with you on that briefly. Obviously, that's kind of a big deal because, when you moved there, we all thought that, okay, that was a big move for you, obviously, from a financial point of view especially. But you mentioned them not paying salaries. Was that probably why you cancelled your contract, or were
that was the main reason why?
Really?
Yeah.
I know the club was relegated at the end of last season. Is that correct?
Yeah, but he came back to
the top division. Yeah. In situations like that, we always hear like some clubs get in trouble, not paying salaries. Like, what are the players told in moments like that? What does the club tell you, or they just keep quiet and then?
No, as for we the foreigners, they always tell us, okay, maybe we will pay you next month, and when the day reach, they will be like next month again, So it's kind of frustrating because playing without salary, you're not happy, and you far away from home. So I think it wasn't good.
Yeah. We'll get back to that conversation. But you're a very special player, and I say special because you've had special performances in your career. But it's not, and that hat-trick against Barcelona, everybody talks about it, and we'll get back to it. But it's not always been like that. You've not always been a striker, have you? Because I know that when you started out at Abeka La Paz and when you went to Charity Stars, you were a defender when you started out. Tell me more about that and how you ended up being a striker.
Okay, first I would say it's kind of funny though because I was a defender, and when I went to Charity Stars, that was when late coach Afrani came to also help the team. So he was like, no, because I like to get red cards and stuff. So he was like, no, you can play defense. You need to also go so that maybe the defenders will also attack you. So he turned me as a striker when I went to Charity Stars.
So you're telling me right now the only reason Afrani played you up front was because you were kicking the strikers too much, and he says you change positions.
I was just kicking.
That's interesting because I also know that when you went to Charity Stars, you had an opportunity with the Black Starless team. You were almost dropped before the qualifiers to Morocco. Mm-hmm. Tell me about the whole situation of when you got to camp and what resulted in you almost being dropped, and how you got back into the team to play in the qualifiers.
Yeah, I think I went to camp. I think last 2 days before the camp's breaks.
Yeah.
So we were almost about 200 players, and they called only 30 players. Wow. And from my coach, Coach Opele, he told me I was the last player they chose. Yeah. So it was I was really happy, but I just thank God.
Yeah. And that U17 was the beginning of great things for you.
Yeah.
The qualifiers, you were the top scorer in the competition. Yeah. Tell me about that, because usually in Ghana, when we talk under 17, it's a very precious team for Ghanaians. I think you know that. Black Starless, from 91, 95, they won World Cups. made the nation proud. When you're a young player, you get the opportunity with the Black Stars. Tell me what that's about. Really, what's the feeling is like?
Yeah, my point, I had a very good feeling, and it was I was really determined because getting the opportunity. I think we have a lot of young players who also want that opportunity. So when I had the opportunity, I was literally in school when I had a call that I need to play.
Which school is that?
Meridian. Okay. Meridian. Yeah. So when I had a call from my coach that I need to go play for Black Starlets. Yeah. So I was really happy. I was really happy when I went. Everything went well, and I just thank God.
Yeah. The qualifiers went great for you.
Mm-hmm.
The tournament itself, not so much.
Yeah.
Our first game against Nigeria, we got hammered 6-1. And then we never really qualified for the World Cup because of that. Yeah. I mean, when you look back at that tournament in Morocco in 2013, what really happened to that team? Because it was a very talented under-17 team.
Yeah. Before we had a team which was dissolved because of the MRI. Yeah. And I think we were only 3 players left in that team, so we brought new players to the team.
The MRI kicked out.
All the players.
And left
3.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So we brought in new players, and I think we were good. Yeah. But I think we needed more time to play as a team.
Yeah.
But I think we did our best as players. We were young. We didn't know much, but we did our best.
Yeah. Pakwesi Fabian was your coach then, I believe.
Yeah,
he is now still the under-17 coach.
And he's like a father to me also.
Yeah. What is so special about him and under-17? Because I know Pakwesi Fabian is being under-17 coach in and out for a long time. Yeah. What is it with him and working with youngsters that you think is why they keep putting him in the under-17?
Yeah, I think Coach Pakwesi is a coach. He knows how to handle kids and young players. He knows how to talk, how to encourage the players. So I think he has always been the best for the under-17.
After the under-17, obviously, you were a hot property. You may not have performed well at the under-17, but the qualifiers itself made you very popular. And Tema Youth came calling. Yeah. Tell me about that short stint when you went to Tema Youth on loan.
Yeah, I was really happy, and I was very young.
Yeah.
And Palmer was also our chairman in under 17. Yes. Yeah, so I had that relationship. It was really great, and I was happy. Yeah.
Yeah. And then from Tema Youth,
I went
to Portugal.
Yeah.
Yeah, to Rio Ave first, I believe.
Yeah.
When you were a young player and you move abroad, that first trip abroad, the day they told you have a deal to go to Portugal, telling your parents, going to the airport, sitting on the plane getting up, and you know that this is it for me. I mean, I'm always interested in what that conversation is like. The first time you were told that you're going to Portugal, do you remember who called you and what you were told?
Yeah, I remember my team manager from Charity Stars. Yeah, he called me. He said there is this team who wants me to come and play as a justified player. So I was really happy that day. I couldn't sleep. I was really. I called my mom. I called my dad. I was really happy, and I was always calling him, asking, "When am I leaving? When am I leaving?"
You don't want them to cancel the flight.
But at some point, I had a problem. I think it's a story because I went to training once. It was a Wednesday morning. Okay. So when I came back, I was tired. So I was like, "Oh, let me have a rest." So I woke up with my knee swollen. I couldn't. Yeah.
Wow.
I couldn't walk.
This was days before the trip.
Yeah, it was a week.
Wow.
Yeah, my knee was swollen. I couldn't see anything. So I called my mom, and when I couldn't even talk. When I called my mom, I started crying, and he was like, "Let's just keep calm. Everything will be fine." Yeah. So I was like, "No, for me, I'm not a player that I'm known in Europe. So no club will sign a player who is injured. Yeah, who is injured. So I think it won't be possible. This day won't be possible."
Yeah.
So after 3 days, I had a call from the team that I should come and have a treatment in Portugal. So that's when I flew to Portugal and started my treatment.
Wow. I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's almost like a godly intervention because, like you rightly told your mom, if you're not an established player, no European team will be willing to take a chance. But this team trusted you so much to come and say, you know what, come, we will treat you, and then you do your justify after that.
And they gave me 4 months in recovery. But after 2 months, I was like, no, I was feeling pain. I was like, no, I can play. So I always take an injection before playing. I played. I was by then 17, 18. I was playing Europa League with injury. Yeah, but I think I was really determined, to stay.
Yeah. So hunger was there. Yeah. And not long after that, Moreirense came calling. Yeah. And that was the first permanent contract.
Yeah.
You remember putting pen to paper on that contract and looking at the numbers? I'm sure at that point, most players will tell you when they're signing their first professional contract, they're not even looking at the numbers. It's just like, where do I sign?
you just
was that what it was like for you?
Yeah, I was really happy. I was in a haste to sign. Yeah, I didn't even mind what's in the contract. I was like, no, let me just sign because it was 4 years contract. Like, staying in Portugal for 4 years. Come on, I need to just put the pen on the paper and sign. So I was really happy.
Yeah, and that went really well. Obviously, that's how Levante came calling.
Yeah,
and then you ended up in Spain. We talk about. I mean, I'm sure that. What was the conversation like between when you signed for Moreirense and when you decided to go to Levante? Talk me through that. Like, what made you decide to leave? And how did that approach happen from Levante?
Yeah, after I think 2016-17, I had a great season in Portugal. Yeah, which I scored all the big teams in Portugal. Yeah,
so you have a habit of that, scoring against big teams.
So I spoke with my agent. I think it's time for me to also try a new country, a new place. So I had a couple of offers. I think it was between the best offers was between Nantes and Levante. Oh, yeah. So I was like, okay, Messi is in Spain, Ronaldo is in Spain. So come on, this
is not a competition.
It's no competition. I just need to take the chance, join in.
It's funny because Levante does have a history with Ghanaian players. I'm sure when you went there, you remember the famous Mustafa Rega.
Yeah, I heard that.
Were you referenced a lot with him when you went there? Did people always mention him?
Yeah.
Every time they spoke to you about Levante? Yeah. Did you ever meet him?
No, I never met him.
Wow. So he never came around the whole time you were there?
No.
Interesting. But Levante was some journey. I mean, we know you don't often score so many goals. I mean, in Portugal, you were scoring quite a lot. In Levante, not so much. What do you think was the reason for that? Is it that you had a bit of a role change, or what was it? Because you weren't more of an out-and-out goal scorer when you went to Levante, but you're more of a... you played off it, but you didn't score as much.
Yeah. Yeah, when I went, I think, it's kind of... it's different. Spanish football and Portuguese football is very different. So I was trying to adapt to the league, and Spain, they like to keep the ball, and Portugal is just you just kick, we follow. Yeah. And, so I was trying to adapt, and sometimes in Spain you do the movement, you think the ball will come, but it's going to another player. Yeah. Which I know it's their tactics, it's their way of playing. So it was kind of difficult, but after my first year, I think everything went well.
Yeah, and that second season was something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
2018 season. You scored 4 goals that season, one against Real Madrid, and then, the hat-trick against Barcelona. Listen, look, I know that a lot of Ghanaian players, Ghanaians knew you.
It was 7 goals. It was 7 goals, not 4.
Obviously a lot of Ghanaians knew you because you had played for the youth teams and all of that, and those who watch La Liga knew you. But that day it was like your world completely changed after that hat-trick. Before the game, I mean, anyone going up against Barcelona in La Liga, it's almost as if all the other smaller teams, so to speak, expect to lose.
Yeah.
What was the conversation within you and your teammates even before the game?
Yeah, I think it's obvious because if Levante is playing against Barcelona, everyone will go for Barcelona. So we didn't even think of scoring Barcelona 5-1. It wasn't even because they played the whole season unbeaten. So it was quite difficult for us, and we were like, okay, because our coach was like, just go, play. I know you can win. You know, he's a coach. He need to give some.
Tell you that. He doesn't believe it.
Yes, that's it. He knows we can win. We should just go and play our normal football, and I think we had a great day.
Yeah.
And for me as a player, it wasn't even a dream scoring hat-trick.
Yeah.
But as a striker, every game it's a determination. You know, like I want to score a goal, especially playing against the big team, because big teams sometimes the big teams, the defenders they love going. Okay. So if you are a speed star, you can take advantage. So I was always determined, to score. Yeah. But it wasn't a dream to score hat-trick.
Of course.
I was like, okay, one is okay, but I was really happy when I scored the hat-trick. That was
interesting. And you had the famous face mask. What was that? Were you treating an injury, or what was happening?
Yeah, I had a surgery.
Oh.
My head, yeah.
So you were wearing face mask most of that season?
Yeah, to protect, because the doctor gave me 4 months. I was out of the season. So after 1 month, I was like, no, I can play. Just give me the max and.
Tell me the moment after the game. I mean, I'm sure your teammates, because there's a famous audio of Steven Appiah after the World Cup when he said, "Oh, my phones are buzzing, phones are calling." What was it like for you after the game?
After the game, I couldn't even reply all my messages, and I think we left the stadium around like 1 a.m. because we were really happy. We were just celebrating. We didn't win the league, but
of course
it was
big deal.
Yeah, it was a very good game that we had. So we were very happy. I had a lot of message from my loved ones, from my fans, and but I couldn't. That day I couldn't use my. I think I used my phone 2 days after.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And obviously, apart from your loved ones, I'm sure that was when all the other calls started coming in, eventually leading to you going to China. Yeah. Which was a bit of a surprise move for many, because people thought, okay, this was the season. He's in the limelight, scoring hat-trick against Barcelona. Next season would be big. Before we know, you're off to China to take big money. But on a more serious note, when your player decides to make such a move, obviously I'm sure you had options to also stay in Europe, but you decided to make that move to China. Often when you get an offer like that and you know that, this could be life-changing for me, and the other option being that, okay, let me stay in Europe and try and see if I can make it to the levels of, maybe Premier League levels where I can get a lot of money. What usually are the things you consider before you decide that, let me go to China?
Yeah, when I had the call from my agent that there's this Chinese team who wants to sign me, I had an answer had also come again, so I was like, no, and the deal was very good for me as a player, and for my family also. It was very good. It's good to play in Europe, but it was a deal which was 10-15 times what I was taking in Europe. So I was like, no. It's a life-changing, so I just need to take that opportunity, because the opportunity comes once, so you never know tomorrow. And football, we have its limits. When it's your time, it's over. So when you have the chance, I think you need to take it. So I just took the opportunity, and that's it.
Yeah, is that why you think a lot of players because, and I know that like mostly the Ghanaian public, when a player makes a certain move, people don't understand. It's like, what are you going to do in China? Like, why are you going to do in China? Is that something that you wish people understood more? That beyond everything else, and beyond the fact that, okay, you love to see your fellow countryman playing in La Liga and playing against Messi, you also have to think about the fact that he needs to take care of his family, and that just paying playing against Messi and Ronaldo every weekend is not necessarily paying the bills. Is that something you wish people understood more about footballers and their decisions?
Yeah, I think people should understand more, because I understand them in a way, because they are the fans. They love to see you playing in big leagues and stuff. But sometimes they also need to consider that you have family, you have people you take care of. So I think sometimes they need to understand us also.
Yeah. And to be honest, I think that I personally do. So when players make moves like that, it's like, this is it for you. It's a one-time opportunity. And you've been to China. You've had 2 seasons there, obviously. But one man that really paved the way in China for a lot of the Ghanaian players is Frankie Champong. You call him Messi there. Before you went, did you speak to him about?
Yeah, I spoke to Frank. Yeah. He's a friend, so.
Yeah. Oh, he's a good friend.
He's a good friend.
Yeah, he's like Messi down there.
Yeah, Frank is he's a monster. This guy.
Yeah. That is incredible. But now, obviously, like you revealed, you've cancelled your contract and you're looking at going back to Europe. Are there any offers on the table at the moment, or you're still talking to some clubs trying to see what happens next?
I have offers from Europe, from UAE, from Qatar. So we just I still have time, so I need to sit down and make the right choice.
Do you have time though? Because maybe the World Cup is coming, so maybe you might need to make a quick decision. Is that something that is on your mind while you try to make this decision, the World Cup?
If it happens, it's everybody's will to play for the national team, and for me being a Ghanaian, I would love to also play in the World Cup for my country. That would also depend on my performance and the coach. Yeah. So I think the season will start in July, August. So I still have time to make a good decision.
Yeah. Speaking of the national team, you've played a few times for the national team. Unfortunately, your scoring record isn't that great with the national team. Mm-hmm. Just that penalty against Japan. Yeah. Incidentally, they played against Japan a few days ago. They took a 4-1 beating at the hands of Japan. And I remember watching that game, and I watched that game exactly in this room. Mm-hmm. After that, you guys played Iceland, I believe. But what is it with the national team, and perhaps why you think you have maybe struggled a little bit in terms of like the goal scoring? Because I know that even personally you would like to have scored more. Yeah. What is it you think it's probably the reason you haven't been able to score as many?
Yeah, I think there is no reason, as I think we always play as a team, but I think there is always a chance for a player. So I always believe my chances will come, and I hope I will take them. Yeah. I've not had much chances. By scoring. So I'm just hoping, and I'm still working on it as a striker. So
very interesting conversation we're having here with Emmanuel Boateng, Black Star striker. We'll take a very short break. When we come back, we'll roll into his career at the under-20 level and ask him about an event that's coming up this Friday. Doug Steve. Welcome back to the Striker here on Citi TV. My name is Fentio Tahir Fentio. My guest today on the show is Emmanuel Boateng, Black Star striker. He's a free agent now after cancelling his contract with Dalian Yifan of China, looking to get back into mainstream Europe, wearing a mask and scoring hat-tricks, I believe. But Ima, it's been lovely. One of my more precise memories of you is of you scoring against Panama at the 20 World Cup in 2015. And that was a really good period for the under-20 because we had won the World Cup in 2009. Mm-hmm. We went to the semi-finals, finished third in 2013, and that next edition was you guys. And it was a talented crop, but we got kicked out by Mali, obviously. Yeah. There was yourself, there was Benjamin Tete, Samuel Tete, Atizigi was in that team, I believe. Clifford Abuaji was in that team. These days, I think only 2 of you are very regular in the national team. Atizigi, and now recently Benjamin Tete. When you look back at that crop and you look at how far you've come, is that one player in there that you thought, this guy, like when you train together, it's like this guy is destined for, like, he's going places, but it's not really happening for him, and you're wondering, asking yourself why sometimes.
Okay, I would say there is we were a lot of players,
Yeah.
and I think everybody was playing well at the World Cup, and even when we play ourselves, I think everybody had that talent, and everybody was willing, to reach that top, and but I think it would also depend on the player itself,
Yeah.
Sometimes you just can't sleep for things to happen. You need to work towards it.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mention any names, but those there, I think they worked for it.
Yeah.
And those not there, maybe that's maybe they have their own reason.
Yeah.
So I think you always need to work for what you want.
Yeah. As a striker, it's always a joy when you play with certain midfielders. Clifford Abuajo was special, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He's got very quick feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the whole Ghana youth teams and the formula. When you guys go for competitions, it's almost like the hunger is at a different level when you go for like international competitions, because everybody is very determined trying to go as far as possible. But in that under-20 team, I think that was in New Zealand, I believe.
Yeah, New Zealand.
Yeah. I remember we also played against Argentina.
Yeah.
Some of the Argentine players, one of them included the son of Diego Simeone in that team.
Korea.
Yeah. When you look back at that competition, what do you think probably was why we never went as far as maybe many people thought your talent level deserved to be? Because it was quite disappointing when we lost to Mali.
Yeah, I think now football. Everybody knows how to play football, and it's Ghana is one of the football country in Africa, but playing against Mali, as you said, Mali also have talented players.
Yeah.
They have very good players, and we did our best. But I think we didn't reach where we wanted to reach.
Yeah.
It was sad. We lost against Mali. But I think that's football, and we need to also understand and work for the next tournament.
Okay. Let's talk about present day Black Stars and what's happening with the team at the moment. There's a new head coach that's in the team. Obviously, he hadn't played for a while, but has he been in touch with you? Have you spoken to the coach?
No.
Never?
No.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. But have you been keeping tabs with the team?
I have friends that I always talk to.
Yeah. Did you get? Were you here when we played against Nigeria, or were you still in China?
No, I was in Spain.
You were in Spain. Yeah. Okay, so I'm sure you watched the game.
Yeah.
Everybody says that we are on a really poor run of form. Ghana has won just one game. This is the Black Stars, but they've won just one match in their last 6 games or so, because they lost to Algeria before the AFCON started. And then in the AFCON 3 games, they didn't win one.
Yeah.
Even lost to Comoros. Then we beat Madagascar, and then we go and then we draw against South African Republic. Then we go and lose to Japan. What's going on with the team? Because obviously we qualify for the World Cup with 2 of those matches. But in time past, when you look back at Ghana having played, and listen to the opponents here, they played Gabon, Comoros, Central African Republic, Madagascar, Japan, and there's only one win in all of that. That's a bit of a surprise, no? Or is there some context to the matches that we need to understand?
Yeah, I would say from my point of view, I would say it's surprise, because Blasters is always Blasters, and I think we have the quality players, to win, but. Football, as I said earlier on, football you can never predict it after. You can only do that after 90 minutes. So I think now everyone is playing. Every country is playing well, and we just need to work hard and take our chances. And I think that's it.
Yeah. And talk about taking our chances at the AFCON. We haven't taken our chances in 40 years. We've not won the trophy in 40 years. when you meet as players, is there something that goes through your mind? Like, do you guys talk about it often? About like, you know, the AFCON we have?
Yeah, everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to win the AFCON. It's something that sometimes when we meet, we talk about. But we will be talking about it. Maybe Nigeria will also be talking about it.
Yeah.
You know, Kenya will be talking about it. So I think everyone is planning to win the tournament. You just need to keep your work rate. You just need to work hard and reach your goal.
But what do you think is lacking in all those? Obviously, you didn't watch it from like all those years because dating 82, you were nowhere near being born. But in the recent ones that you have seen, what do you think is always like kind of lacking? Like in 2019, for example, we lost on penalties to Tunisia.
Yeah.
In 2021, we didn't even win a single game in the group stages. If you go back to even 2017, we lost as well to Cameroon again.
Yeah.
You know, and then you go back 2015, we lost in the penalty shootout to Cote d'Ivoire. If you go back 2013, semi-final, 2012, semi-final, 2010, final, lost to Egypt. 2008, semi-final. What's always lacking? Because we're always that close, but yet so far.
Yeah, I think sometimes, you know, luck is also needed. Luck is needed because the guys will be doing their best on the field. They will be playing their hearts all out, you know. So I think we also need a little bit of luck. Yeah, because I think we have Ghana. We have the quality players, you know, to play and win the AFCON.
Yeah.
But we also need a little bit of luck.
Yeah, that's interesting. Talking about luck, what do you think of our World Cup group? Are we lucky or not lucky? Uruguay, Portugal, South Korea.
Yeah, everything is possible.
Yeah.
Everything is possible. As I said earlier on, you know, you can never predict. So you never know. Maybe we could win against Portugal, against Uruguay, and lose against South Korea. Yeah. But maybe for you, maybe you think Ghana can win against South Korea. You know, so you can never predict. So I think let's all pray for the team and work hard. And
I'm sure you have former teammates from Portugal that probably were texting you about the World Cup.
Yeah.
Ghana meeting Portugal again. We met again. We met the last time, 2014.
2014.
And Uruguay. Everyone talking about that revenge. Is that usually what it should be about? Games like these, it's like revenge, or you know what? Nah, let's just a football game. Let's go on there and win.
I think it's just you can't go in a game with with a mentality of revenge. You just go as a team, as a player, play your normal game and do your best. I think if you win, you win. You know, if you win, you win. So.
Okay. But Emmanuel, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for coming.
You're welcome.
Yes, God bless you and all the best for whatever decision you take.
Thank you.
In the future. I'm sure that in the end it will all work out for you.
Thank you.
And hopefully we get to see you at the World Cup.
Thank you.
Emmanuel Boateng has been my guest here on the show. We've had conversations spanning 3 different continents, from Africa to Europe and down to Asia. It's been another lovely episode of The Tracker. Until next time, though, you take care of yourself and